Hey everyone, welcome to C's Backstage. This is your all-access pass to everything you need to know to design, produce, and inspire your next event. I'm your host, Troy Peters, C's Production's very own Chief Experience Officer, here to guide you through the world of live event production. Remember to subscribe to these podcasts by going to cspro.com/backstage or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. This next series is a series. We haven't really done a series for our podcast program, and this is going to talk about all of the disciplines in our world: video, lighting, audio, staging, and creative. This is really a way that we're not really going to talk about how you work a piece of equipment or what the best gear is or how you design a room. Well, it is a little bit about how you design a room, but really it's not lessons in what the equipment does or how to operate a piece of equipment, but really this is the idea around how to approach each discipline from a design standpoint. I'll share the basics of how we design a space using each element and the best practices for you and the conversations that you can have with your event team. If you're on our side, on the production side, how you can better communicate with your event team, with your clients, on what that element's going to do to really elevate the experience in that room for their attendees. And if you're on the event planner side, this will give you an opportunity to have a good, intelligent conversation with your your production partner to come up with the best solutions for each space in each of those disciplines. Again, we're going to do 5 episodes. First one's about to start with audio, then video, then lighting, staging, and creative. I hope you all enjoy. All right, so let's begin. The first piece of our audio, video, lighting, staging, and creative series is audio. In some respects, you might think that audio really is the least variable element in a production setup. Everybody sees the staging, they see the creative on the videos that are playing, and they can see the lighting effects that are happening. But really, when audio is done properly, and done with the right amount of creativity and design, it can be mind-altering. It can put you in a different environment. It can really drive an audience's experience. Think about turning all the lights out, making the screens go black, and having some sort of sound, right? Something that really pulls you into the effects and the design and the feel of the event that you're attending. Think about sound effects from your favorite movies or blockbuster movies like Star Wars, Avatar, Harry Potter movies. Think about the sound effects, the sound design on that, and then think about also the music or the soundtrack. So we want to think about that as well. What's the right choice of music if you have your CEO coming out to give a talk about numbers that are being down, or maybe numbers are up and the tune needs to be AC/DC's Back in Black. Those are the things we're going to talk through. If it wasn't for that amazing sound design, amazing score, and those sound effects that the Hollywood blockbusters use, probably wouldn't be the industry that it is. All right, so let's start with the event. And again, we're not talking about, as we go into audio, we're not really talking about, making sure you've got the right soundboard, you've got this kind of microphone, that kind of microphone, making sure there's delays so that, only the people in the stage can hear the sound. You want to hear it properly throughout the space. That's not really what this is about. This is talking about the who, what, where, when, and why of approaching sound for your event. So the first thing is who. Who are your attendees? What are their demographics? Where are they from? So if the music that I would choose when designing an event for my kids' age versus my parents' age is going to be quite different. I'm going to really think about things that are going to motivate the people in their seats, make them want to pay attention, make them excited to be there. If it's first thing in the morning, they're walking in with some energy, they're ready to listen, ready to learn, whatever that event is that you're doing. If it's in the evening, again, making sure the energy level's right, but are they there to give, or is this an awards program? So being respectful for those sorts of things. So if we're doing an event, let's pick, my home country, Canada. Let's say we're doing an event for a company that's coming down from Canada to the US. They're probably going to get a kick out of us playing anything from, the Tragically Hip or Rush, right? Or some music that speaks to them. So that already is going to put them in this welcoming atmosphere, this I'm happy to be here as well kind of feeling. So really knowing that, and then the next level is really choosing, like I said, the demographics, the age of your group, and knowing that look, these are 20 and 30 somethings that are here for a sales summit, so that music's got to be right? Make it feel like they're going into the club. Make it feel like this is the place I want to be when they're doing their Instagram records or TikTok loops, so that they can really emphasize and again feel like they're a part of something. They're there for something. You think about the festivals, the concerts that we've been to in our lives that really make this experience come together, and it's the music. When you're walking up and the opening band's playing, really having that right feeling getting into your soul right out of the gate. The era that you choose, right? If we've done some events that have taken place, on the midway, maybe we're speaking with, maybe it's in a memorial event, or maybe it's a celebration of life or something where we're on an aircraft carrier that's been around since the 60s or 70s, and so maybe that's the music that we're choosing for that day, right? It suits the space that we're in. It fits where we are. And then the other side of just thinking about, the different age groups that you've got in that space is really being smart about the audio quality and clarity as well. As we age, when we're younger, we can hear things really well. We can hear things kind of full spectrum. And as you get older, you start to lose a little bit here and there. I know, just kind of as I get along in life, that my sound is, my hearing is not the level that it used to be. So again, making sure that the quality is clear, knowing that maybe if you've got an older crowd, that you've got to bring the music a little bit lower than you would before the voice starts, right? Those kinds of things, making sure your voiceovers are audible and they're clear and crisp. And again, probably bring the sound down a level. The video playbacks, maybe that shouldn't be as hot either, keeping that a little bit lower. Really being able to approach it in that consciousness of who's listening, who's watching this program. The next piece is the what, right? What is the event for? Is this a concert? Then easy. We know we're dealing with a rider where we're designing an experience that is just off the charts. It's going to be loud and it's going to be fun. And the band is really taking care of the impact that's going to be happening. But if we're moving from the concert or festival into the trade show, which is where most of our business is, we really want to hang on to some of those things of when you're walking into that concert venue or you're entering that space. You've got a sense of place. You've got a sense of you're putting a stamp in time and space for these attendees that are going to remember this and want to take this forward and remember and say, I got to go to this to this conference next year. See, it's already exciting for me. I'm excited that it felt like a concert and I want to be back at this conference. But then even if we move it on to an awards show, right? Is that award show? How does that music design and sound design play into that? What are the voiceovers, right? The voiceovers for a morning program that's all about education can be pretty straightforward, but if we're doing something that's a little more fun, we've had voiceovers where we sounded like the great and powerful Oz, right? Or we've had I was lucky enough to work with the voice of Siri one year, so she did all our voiceovers, was absolutely amazing. So we made it sound like you were navigating a path, and we did another an event for a group where we were doing a mountain climbing program. It was the sales pitch was all about this journey up a mountain. So all of the voiceovers and walk-ons and things like that sounded like it was over a walkie-talkie. Like maybe you were in a campground, or you were up camping, or you're up on the peak and you're radioing ahead to see if the climb is safe. But really, those are simple things to think about and really cost-effective ways to elevate your event. The next thing after who and what, we want to talk where. Where is the event taking place? First easy thing is it indoors or is it outdoors, right? That's a very different approach for us as technicians to be able to really pull off an event that is impactful. If you're out in an outdoor space, if you're dealing with live elements, we've done things that are in a downtown city core where you're fighting with traffic noise. We've done things at the end of runways where you're dealing with planes landing in, every couple of minutes. So really being conscious about the space that you're in and the space that your event's taking place. Most of our things are in a hotel convention or convention space. So if we're in a large hotel ballroom, it's a little different, but that can kind of set the mood too, right? So really making sure that with the size of space that you've got, if you move to an expo floor, for example, that's typically cement ambient and large, more cavernous, more opportunity for echo and reverb, which can cause feedback and things like that. We really want to take the right approach for wherever we're at. But again, once we're in that space, how can we embrace that feeling in that space? Did an event in the Expo Center for 6,000 people at the New Orleans Convention Center, and that group was so good about embracing the fact that we're in New Orleans, right? We want to make, we're stuck in a ballroom with each other for days, but let's embrace this place that we're at. And one thing we always do is the catering. The catering is going to be from the town that you're in. The influence is if you're holding an event in Texas, it's probably going to have barbecue. If you're doing an event in Hawaii, it's probably going to have a luau theme. Those are the sort of givens. So really making sure the audio is fitting that as well. Making sure that, if you're in Hawaii, we've sent everybody for an incentive trip to Hawaii and then dump them all into a ballroom. Let's make it feel like we're still in Hawaii, right? Let's have a ukulele playing. Let's, maybe live music too. Let's not forget about putting somebody up on stage. I love when clients will want to put a DJ on stage left, and that DJ will play the walk-ons, walk-offs. We'll play the music as they're coming in. We'll read the crowd and adjust the music accordingly. Same thing, putting somebody up with a three-piece band, or like I was saying, somebody with a ukulele. How cool is that to walk in and just have this like strumming going on, and then maybe you change that out with some drummers or something. That again is just these cost effective ways to elevate your experience right from the get-go, and using something that's just audio. There's nothing else that needs to be thought about for this. You want some nice lighting and you want something on the screens, but really the audio design, the design that you're putting in for sound, is really just taking the event to another level, and something that so easily gets forgotten about. The next piece is, the next in the who, what, where, when, why is when. When is the event taking place? Really easily, I can say, we've done a lot of work with Lush Cosmetics over the years, and we always do a holiday event. And so we want to play a little bit of holiday music when they're launching all the fun new things that they're pushing out that are going to be in the stores that year. So we really want that, even though we might be doing that event in September. We know that the effect we want everyone to have, the set design, the scenic, everything has a sort of wintry feel to it. So embracing that and being able to have and making sure you're having those conversations with your client, with your client's team, and knowing the audience and where we're going to be, and that this needs to accelerate what they're about to launch in the stores. So music sets the mood, right? It really can make you feel like you're part of whatever place you're trying to make this feel like. And again, thinking about the early morning general session versus a late afternoon keynote or an evening banquet, right? When that event's taking place throughout the day, it really will help you design the mood and feel and music for that as well. Do we want it up and loud first thing in the morning so people are awake and ready to learn, or do we want to keep it a little bit lower if it's a black tie banquet that evening? Do we want to have it still energetic but not too much? Are we doing a reception? Do we need people to be able to talk to each other? So really thinking through all those elements, having those conversations as well, making sure that if I'm sitting across the table from you before the dinner, while we're just chatting and whatnot, that we can still hear each other, making sure that our sound technician in the room, our A1, knows that that's the goal right now. We need to be able to hear each other talk. It's not just about the music. Maybe it's loud and big when you walk in that ballroom, but as soon as people start talking, we don't want to be fighting with the music and constantly turning it up in order to combat the crowd, but we want the crowd to connect. So again, when is the big piece of that. And then the last thing is really why, right? Why are we doing this event? Is this something we're celebrating? Something that is, the launch of a new product, right? Then it's everything you can think of to really excite and entice the crowd to want to engage in that new product. Are we memorializing somebody, right? Or are we doing something that's maybe got a little bit more of a somber tone? Then again, really having an honest conversation about the music for that and what that sound needs to sound like. How we can really recognize this moment that we're having together, the attendees are having together, making sure that we're cognizant of that. If we're doing something like a shareholders meeting, that maybe the numbers are down and we want to play the lady in red when we're walking out, right? Red, recognizing that those are negative numbers on a spreadsheet. And that's kind of fun, right? That's a way to take the pain out of what you're about to talk about out of the conversation and going, all right, you know what, we're going to do better next year. And then hopefully by the next year, your CFO is walking out to AC/DC's Back in Black. And it's really about, here we go, we're doing good. The music, but you can just think about those music notes and tones and how that feels, just Lady in Red versus Back in Black, or something from Justin Timberlake versus something that's more operatic. Those are the things that you need to really have those conversations with your sound team and your AV team early on in the process, so that we get everybody on the same page and know exactly the mood and feeling and takeaways we want to deliver. When it comes to any sort of giving event, where you're maybe doing a live auction, or you want to raise money, you want people to open up their wallets, I think it's the most important that the music suits the tone. You want people to be ready to have those fun conversations, open up those wallets, raise that paddle, whatever that is. So thinking through the sound effects and the sound, the music elements that you want to have to deliver during each of those different things. Maybe you can pair it with whatever's being given away. Is it a trip? Then maybe we're playing something from the Beach Boys, right? Or maybe it's a winter trip and it's playing something that's wintry, or you're winning a brand new motorcycle. Then maybe it's something that's reminiscent of doing a road trip, or life as a highway, right? So really, again, having those conversations, making sure that we're aware of what we're trying to deliver, and that it's more than just being in the room together. It's all of those pieces that bring everybody together, leave you with this feeling. And I will forever remember being 5 or 6 years old and going to see the first Star Wars movie when it came out, and walking out of that theater during those end credits. And to this day, when I hear that end credit music, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, and I feel like I'm that 5 or 6 year old again. And it's such a good experience. We want our attendees to be leaving the event with that same feeling that they've got to come back and they've seen something special. They want to tell their friends, they want to tell their colleagues that this is the event they must attend every year. And then the very last thing, the last little bonus piece I would love to leave everyone with, is to realize that we are in a stereo environment, right? We are creating this experience that is speakers arrayed throughout a room, and really kind of being able to play off that. I love when we have a client that embraces a center stage, and maybe there's a stage on the left or the right, or we're bringing something in from left, bringing something in from the right, and we make the sound move with those actions. If we're delivering a video that's over here, we need people's attention over this way, over to house right. Make the sound go that way, right? It doesn't just have to be this overall everything. We can drive that. So have that conversation again with your AV team, with your production team, to really know that, there's so much more that can be done. And it's all there. It's really just about having that conversation. This isn't something that is going to cost you thousands of dollars more. Maybe there's a little more engineering time, but it's minimal, and the impact can be tenfold, 100-fold. It can really change the event. Again, this has been Troy Peters, Chief Experience Officer with C's Productions. On C's Backstage, this is your all-access pass to everything you need to know to design, produce, and inspire your next event. Remember to subscribe to the podcast at cspro.com/backstage, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Again, this has been the first in a series of 5, where we're talking about audio, video, lighting, staging, and creative. This has been the audio one. The next one will be video, and I hope you tune in. Thanks so much, everybody.